Welcome back to Scarecrow's Billiards. I'm Scarecrow, and this is the dreaded spot shot. Throughout history, many people have had a hard time with this shot. For the spot shot specifically, the object ball is quite a distance away from the hole it's got to go into. Um, it's this angle, I believe, that gives a lot of people trouble. And you might ask, Scarecrow, well, what is that angle exactly? Well, thanks for asking. And I just happen to have a protractor ready. So let's find out. As it turns out, the angle of this shot is 150 degrees. That's 150, 150 degrees. But I've got good news for you, which I'll talk about in a bit, but first things first. You want to find that line from the traditional side where you break 9-ball from the side. You want to find what that line is. And then you want to shorten it up a little bit to ease a little bit of this pain. So maybe start out here. As you improve making this shot, feel free to move the cue ball back further and further and further and further until you find yourself behind the head string. And when you get comfortable making it behind the head string, and by comfortable, I mean 7 out of 10 times, you're going to want to try to make this shot. Instead of using center ball, try to use outside English. Try to use inside English. And when you get good at that, yep, you guessed it. Switch over to this side. Start out here, and then slowly work your way back until you find yourself behind the head string. Use outside English, running English, inside English, and then eventually you want to use draw. You want to use draw so that you want to try to avoid contact with this end rail. So when you draw it, you actually draw the ball into this side rail and then down. So you want to hit this rail first. And I'll be the first to tell you that is a stroke shot. So if you don't nail it on the first, second, or even the third try, practice, you're going to have to stroke it just right to hit it. Not only make the ball, but draw the cue ball over to here. Expectations for this shot. With the spot shot and the cue ball behind the head spring, you should not only be able to consistently, 7 out of 10 times, make this shot in the pocket, but you should also be able to put this cue ball anywhere on the table when you're done with this shot. So you'll find that when you use top English, the cue ball will come here and it'll slowly work its way back down this path. When you use bottom English, it'll slide into the side rail and then down here. If you use top right, it'll come off these 2 cushions and then come over here. If you use top left, it'll come here and then come over this way. Additionally, when you adjust your speed, you're going to be able to move to a lot different places on the table as well.
All right, this first shot here is the easiest, I think. This is with top English. The ball comes straight up and down. This next shot here is with top left English. Still not that difficult. But you come off 3 cushions and get back down on the end for another shot. The final shot I'm going to show you is with bottom English. Now this needs quite a bit of stroke, and it might help to slow it down a little bit. Draw it right into the side cushion and back.
Now, for that good news you've been waiting for. All right, got your handy dandy protractor ready? Another great thing you can do with a tool like this is create the exact same shot, just at different locations on the table. So this is locked in at 150 degrees. You can take this, move it down here, object ball here, cue ball here, and look at this shot. You may say, you know what? I usually overcut this shot, or I undercut it and slam it right into the end rail. That's because it's the exact same angle as the spot shot. We also love back cuts too. So you'll find this shot here, and the cue ball, we'll turn it this way. Yeah, there's a nice back cut right there. Here and here. Oh, give it a little bump. There's that angle. And of course, you're back cutting it. These shots you find you have to actually overcut a little bit, then undercut. But we find that we often miss those. And then there's just like a traditional cut right here that's lined up. Anywhere along this line will work. That's also a spot shot. Once you find where all these spot shots are on the table, practice nailing them into their hole. The ones down here at this end, the ones over here, the back cuts, the spot shot, you can change the length. Piece of cake. In conclusion, shooting the spot shot with different types of English is not only challenging, but it's also a good way to calibrate your stroke when you get to the pool hall or when you start in the day, whatever it might be. Protractors, like this one here, are very inexpensive. They don't cost a whole lot. They're dirt cheap. You can get them on Amazon, wherever. Speaking of cost, while the cost of you having your friends think you're insane for practicing pool with a protractor is, in fact, pretty expensive, pretty high cost, the profit that you can get from mastering this 150-degree shot in all these different areas is priceless. And it's my hope that this really takes your game to another level. You're not missing this type of shot anymore. And other than that, thanks for watching Scarecrow's Billiards, and God bless.